All right, I'm going to open processing. Again, hopefully you have it pinned to your start menu, or you can browse to where it's located on your computer and double-click the exe file. Okay, so the first thing that we want to do is we want to write to ourselves a couple of notes, right? And the idea here is that we want to have our computer say, hello world. So let's go ahead and type that into our text editor here. I'm going to do 2 backslashes. So again, it's going to be grayed out, and we'll see that we have an area to start typing in our pseudocode. So we want to say, send a message to the console, right? So it's grayed out, and in that way it is going to be skipped by the computer. And for the purposes of the webinar, I'm going to also change my preferences here, so this might be a little bit easier for you to see. So if I go to File Preferences and increase the font size, all right, now we've got a larger font size for our text editor. So I'm going to have to relaunch processing to make sure that that takes effect. Okay, great. All right, so first I'm going to send a message to the console, right? And remember that anything behind the 2 backslashes is pseudocode. Okay, so the very first thing we're going to do then is let's translate this action, send a message to the console, into the actual specific language that processing will be using. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to type in print ln, or that stands for print line. Then we're going to say quotes, hello world, and this is whatever we want to send to the console window here, and close quotes, close parentheses, and semicolon. So we were talking a little bit earlier about how Java and processing are more formal than other languages that you might use or encounter. So in this way, we have to say, use this method, print line, open parentheses, so everything inside of here is what we're asking this to do. Then we have to use quotes to specify that this is a collection of characters. Close the quotes, close the parentheses. Notice that the sister parenthesis here is also highlighted whenever I have my cursor there. And then end the line with semicolon. So if we hit play, this little blank window will pop open, right? That's the display window. And here we have, in the console area, hello world. All right, so we've just created our very first program, and we've asked our computer to tell back to us, hello world. Okay, so I'm going to save this so that we always have a working version. And my folder is here. So this brings up an interesting point that we should mention. Every processing file, which is a .pde, requires it's required that it is inside a folder with the same name. And you can't use some of the characters on your keyboard, such as dash. So if I were to do -w, which would mean something like this is my working file, it's actually going to format this to be an underscore. Right? So it can't start with numbers, and it can't use dashes and a few other characters. So I'm just going to do _w, make sure it's saved inside my workshop files folder. Save. And if I were to browse back to that folder, you'll see here now there's the inside my workshop files. This is the file I just saved, and it's a .pde, and it has to be inside the folder of the same name. Okay, so let's take a second to make sure that everyone's comfortable with typing some code into our text editor and hitting present or run and ensuring that everything's working. We see hello world in our console. And if you have any questions, go ahead and drop them into the questions window. There were some requests for larger font size, so I'm going to go ahead and increase my font size a little bit more so that you can see it even better. So let's see if this works. Is that more legible? If so, go ahead and drop it into the drop us a line in the message window, and we'll proceed. Otherwise, I'll increase it even a little more. That's better? Okay, great. Okay. So let's go ahead then and resume our PowerPoint and move on to the next exercise.